Hey everybody, it's John Sikowski. I'm going to be covering pages 31 to 41 out of this Justice book. Um, so, for the most part, the second chapter is a lot like the first in the way that we get different examples to think about for ourselves, what is morally right and what is wrong. And we get different people's ways of thinking about these to help us try to come up with a decision. So, at the very beginning of the chapter, they bring this example of these four English sailors who were stranded at sea in a boat, and one of the members of the crew is a 17-year-old orphan, and he gets very sick while they're at sea. And about 3 weeks in, he seems like he's going to die, so they decide that they're going to kill him to make sure that they can survive at least long enough to hopefully be saved. Um, so I myself would think that if this, I would say that it is morally permissible to kill this kid, but I think that if I were in this situation, I think he seems like he's gonna die pretty soon anyway. So why not just wait? Let the like let let nature take its course and then eventually eat him. But immediately after this, we get Bentham's utilitarianism philosophy, which he bases on this principle. We are all governed by the feelings of pain and pleasure. They are our sovereign masters. They govern us in everything we do and also determine what we ought to do. The standard of right and wrong is fastened to their throne. So, what he's saying is we all like pleasure and we all dislike pain. So, we should do what brings the most people pleasure and avoid what brings the most people pain. So, in regards to this first story, he'd be saying that killing this kid is morally permissible because it is bringing the other three people the pleasure of survival and a chance to live, and especially because the boy is already suffering and it seems like things aren't going his way. Um, I think for the most part I agree with this utilitarianism because it it's what's for the good of the community, and I think that everything we do should be what we believe at least will help the most people, will be good for the community as a whole. However, they bring up these examples of objections to this philosophy. So first, they bring up that in ancient Rome they used to throw Christians to the lions because it would amuse the crowd. So according to utilitarianism, this would be totally fine because you are bringing hundreds of thousands of people joy to watch this person get eaten by a lion. But clearly, this does not seem very morally sound because you are torturing an innocent person for the enjoyment of others. Um, I think for this utilitarianism, it can't be specifically what brings the most people pleasure. I think it should be something more along the lines of it helps so the people it helps the most people in need get what they need, and not it's not just a decision of people wanting something that affects another person in a negative way. They go on, another example, kind of the same thing, is about if you knew that someone might be linked to a terrorist attack of sorts, and you tortured them to try to get the information out of them, is this morally sound? And this is something that I think makes more sense because if you are right about the um, about this person being a terrorist, it is a necessity for these other people to stay alive. So torturing this person wouldn't be such a bad thing because you would be uh, helping to save thousands, hundreds of thousands of lives, whatever it may be. just by torturing this person. So you're not even really hurting him that bad. You're not killing anybody. It seems like it's more of a necessity to keep these people alive rather than killing one person so that other people can find entertainment in it. So yeah, I think I think utilitarianism has its ups and downs, but I would, if I were to change one thing about it, it'd be saying that we try to do whatever is the most whatever meets the most people's needs, and not something more along the lines of what brings the most people pleasure.